Okay, we wanted to talk about this term, high-functioning alcoholic, and what that means. Now, I'm guessing if you're high-functioning, then you're looking at your life and thinking, well, I'm high-functioning, I'm doing well, I'm earning a lot of money, or I'm working well in business, or, you know, I'm high-functioning, I'm doing well.
Well, it's that, but it's more really about the alcohol in the sense that you don't have to be particularly good at the thing that you earn money at, or whatever your activity is. You don't have to be particularly good at that. It's the fact that you are considered to be somebody who drinks and does that thing at the same time, and that's sort of somehow acceptable. Yeah. It's a sort of legitimisation, if that's the right word, of something which you probably feel very guilty about internally. I probably always felt pretty bad that you were maybe hiding some of that drinking while you were doing this thing, and then suddenly this term might apply to you. You're a high-functioning alcoholic, which means that all those times that you struggled to keep it secret or to keep it under, or to hide it even perhaps from yourself, that you needed a drink in order to do these things, or at some point, this suddenly now is acceptable, and it's a term. Yeah. It's something you do, and that's okay, because there's a term for it. Yes. And if there's a term for it, that sort of means that you can continue to do it. Or so I quite liked the term high-functioning alcoholic, because it sort of suddenly gave me a new lease of life. I almost felt like putting it on my CV. And why not?
Funny.
You know. Because,
like weaknesses, allergy, yes.
Yeah.
But no, almost on your
I
CV.
thought it was a bit of a strength, actually.
That's very funny.
You know,
it's very funny.
Yeah. But
so this thing about if you turn up to an event, and you're smelling of booze a bit, and you've had a few drinks, you know that might be. Oh, that's a bit embarrassing.
That would be very embarrassing. I would hate that.
So you don't want that. But if you are, obviously, it's a sort of in plain sight thing, isn't it? If you're drinking, and doing stuff, and functioning, then that gives you that's kind of okay, isn't it? But you've got to hide. Yeah. You know, it's the idea that you need a drink just to sort of turn up, or you need a drink to. Yes, the secret booze is. Yeah,
and it's also, but it's wider than that. I mean, I would rarely drink in order to sort of get through an event. The sort of traffic light thing would mean that I'd give myself a red light. But it's, I for example, when I lived in shared houses, which I did for a long time, I was a heavy drinker, and perhaps usually the heaviest of the fraternity, or the group of us. But I would have bottles of gin and vodka that had just vodka and gin on them. I thought it was hilariously funny that you could go to Sainsbury's and you could get Sainsbury's own vodka, and it just said vodka on it. Yeah. And it was all kind of part of this kind of joke that sort of said, no frills, it's just vodka.
A bit like your medicine in a way. So it's not sad.
No.
It's not like, oh God, go around to Will's place and there's bottles of gin and vodka. Yeah. Oh, that's so sad. Oh dear, poor Will. He's an alcoholic. It's like you're making it's a joke.
Yes.
And because you're clearly okay.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
you're
okay
not
with
on
you
the floor.
thinking it.
You haven't got sick down your front.
No, and I'm not masking. I'm not even pretending that it's sort of the best quality Scotch or something. I like it because I've got a real interest in Scotch, and I'm not even hiding behind that. I've got one that says whiskey on it, and it's just that, and there's no frills whatsoever. Yes. And I'm kind of, it's all part of the hilarious joke. Yes. That I am in fact an alcoholic, but I don't really care about it.
But also, that doesn't matter. Yeah. Because you're clearly funny. You're clearly okay.
And functioning.
You're not functioning. You're not in the gutter. You're doing all right.
Yeah.
So you can sort of. So you're functioning,
and that functioning is terribly important in that, because if I wasn't, and somebody said you're not up to it, this is what you've done is absolutely wrong, that would be mortifying, and I'd hate that. I've got to be in control of that situation. Of that, I've decided I'm functioning, and I've made it clear, and I'm open with everybody about it.
And that's the type tightrope that you walk.
It's exactly that.
Because at times it's all okay because it's funny and yet, oh my God, what if there's times where, like you say in your book, the blackout times or where you make a fool of yourself or you go too far, and it's like, no,
But I would blame myself for that. I would not blame the alcohol, and that's the other thing. The punishment, the danger in all of this tightrope, is that the booze is taken away, because that would be that is the worst of all scenarios. Is if you then can't have booze because you clearly can't handle it and it's too much. You're a real alcoholic. You can't drink, and that's unacceptable because I don't want that taken away from you. It's got to be. It's got to be.
So you can't blame the booze because the booze is such an important part.
That's right. It's the cure.
So you're in a bind there, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a catch-22. It's the catch-22 of all catch-22s, as far as I'm concerned. It's what traps people, I think, in the whole relationship, their relationship with alcohol. I don't even like the term alcoholic because of this kind of the way it legitimises as well as ostracises people. It's a kind of really horrible. It's a horrible word. It doesn't really serve. But it's the relationship that people have with alcohol that's important.
I'm learning from you, listening to you. That sounds so hard, this idea that you're trying to balance this thing where sometimes you say you're in control and you're drinking enough and it's funny and you're functioning and it's all great and he's jolly and fun and everything. And then there's this kind of, oh my God, it could, I mustn't drink too much, I've got to hide it enough, it's got to be kind of sexy enough and sort of cool enough. And then if it does go tits up, then you can't say, well, obviously it's the drink that's fucking me up. It's something to do with you, or you can't sort of blame the alcohol in that sense.
No,
so
I wouldn't want to.
And so it's like you've got this kind of this relationship which is very problematic. But you can't sort of point the finger and say, right, you booze
must go.
You're the one. You're the screw up here.
No, because throughout my life, learning how to drink. So from a very early age, from 14 onwards, it was all about learning how to drink properly. And along that path, right up into adulthood, into middle age, you make mistakes. You fuck it up, But that's we all do that. We all make mistakes in the things we do, and it doesn't necessarily mean the things we do are wrong. It's just we've made a mistake with them. And so I took responsibility for those mistakes: getting drunk, making a fool of myself, letting myself down. I did some terrible things, but I didn't blame the alcohol in that sense. It was my relationship. I got it wrong, and that was key to that.
And that's there's a bit of tragedy in there, isn't there? Because it's like,
but there was a lot of fun as well.
Yes. No, I just mean that sense of not being able to point at the booze and go, that thing. You're the one that's actually really.
Well, because you can't imagine a life without it. What would you replace it with? Hot tea, mint biscuits, hot baths, bubble bath. Go away. Nothing of that ilk will substitute for vodka if vodka is what you want. There's no question that a nice massage is even on the same page. It's just a different thing. You're not going to want it. Sorry.